Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Twin City Trio podcast here on YouTube. My name is Cale Fleming, and alongside me, as always, my two hosts, Tyson Snyder and Gavin Campbell. Tyson, what's going on?
It's lit like a candle.
That's what I like to hear. Gavin, how you doing?
It is lit like a lamppost.
Yeah, that too.
All right, that was a little less dramatic. I'll give him that one. So on today's rundown, it's actually not a typical rundown that we do in here. Gavin decided to take us down a little different path this afternoon. So Gavin's going to explain us what he did and what's going to happen this afternoon.
Well, essentially what I put together in my free time is I just came up with a bunch of questions on different sports, opinionated questions, no right or wrong answers. This isn't like the Jeopardy style things that we've done in the past, just, some questions on teams, players, sports, everything like that, written on some cards. We got them face down in a stack. We're going to go around in a triangle, I guess, not really a circle here. Draw cards and answer questions. I don't know.
Triangle's a better shape anyways. So.
Yeah, it is. Three-sided. See, it actually has size. Circle doesn't have a size. Stay in school, kids. Don't be like us. Anyway, we're going to start it off here. I don't know who wants to go first, but we got the stack of cards in the middle here. We're going to go around. Like I said, every card has a question. We're just going to answer it the best we can, and hopefully you guys can learn a little more about how we feel on certain topics. It looks like Cale's reaching for the first one, so go ahead.
Oh, it's an NHL question. Sweet. All right, so the question is, who is your MVP? Wow, who is your way too soon MVP winner? I got one in mind, but I want to see what you got to say to this, Tyson, first.
I thought this was your question.
This is your question.
Oh, it's my question?
Yeah,
That's how we're doing
you
it?
drew the card.
Opinion. This is your question.
I thought we were going to go around.
We'll comment on your answer.
All right,
that?
so
we'll ridicule you.
Mine right now, my way too soon MVP winner would be Connor McDavid for one of two reasons. One, Austin Matthews is not healthy, and he's going to miss 4 to 6 weeks of the season. So right now, he cannot play a full 82.
I'm expecting him back in a couple weeks.
I am too. If he was 100% healthy for 82 games this season, then I would honestly give him the MVP because he would deserve it. But McDavid right now, honestly, because he can stay healthy and he's been shooting, or he's lights out, would be my MVP winner.
I have no problem with that. He's been in the runnings the last couple of years anyway, so I'd agree.
Yeah, I think that was my way too soon MVP choice as well. If he can keep up what he's doing the rest of the season, there's no reason he shouldn't get it. Although I still think if Matthews comes back and he plays at the level or above the level he was at for the first few weeks of the season, he should still be in the running. But maybe that's my homerism talking. But yeah, McDavid's he's solid.
I would have picked Matthews if he wasn't hurt right now.
Right.
Way too soon was there.
Yeah, way too soon.
So way too soon.
All right, Tyson's going for his card.
NCAA basketball. Who has the best chance to win a national title besides Duke? Zion by himself? Does anyone else have a chance to win? I'm saying Villanova's out of the running because they just got wiped by Michigan the other night.
Yes.
They're looking sketchy to start. They'll still make the tournament, no problem. Kansas has looked good so far, but I don't think they look like championship material. I know Zaga's up there. They're ranked number 3 right now. Hang on real quick. Let me just see a list. Virginia's looked good. I don't believe in Tennessee there at the 5 spot. Really, of anybody else in the top 10, I have to give it to North Carolina. We've seen North Carolina. They've advanced very far in each of the last 4 or 5 seasons. They've looked good so far. I don't know if they'll be able to compete with Duke. We'll see here in a few weeks when they play each other. But really, I just don't think like any of the other top 10 teams have looked like tournament material right now.
Yeah, out of the many generic answers that you could have answered for this, North Carolina was also my pick just because of, like you said, they've been in it the past half decade. So I think
you got Coach Roy Williams. How do you argue against that?
Absolutely. I think just on his standards alone and his resume, I don't see why besides Duke, obviously, you could pick against that.
I am going 100% complete opposite. I'm sticking in the Big Ten. You got a guess as to who it is?
Wisconsin.
Nope.
Michigan.
Really?
You
think they'll go back again?
I'm going with Michigan because they always get there. And look what they did against the reigning national title Villanova the other night. Michigan was up 44-16 at the half. 44-16 at the half. So that team is loaded with shooters, loaded with bigs. And
that's a similar scoreline to Duke against Eastern Carolina, or Eastern Michigan.
Yeah.
And Eastern Michigan and Villanova don't quite compare.
I mean, honestly,
So.
they're both, in the NC2A. I get that. I understand it. But at the same time, you cannot compare Villanova to Eastern Michigan like you said. So that's why I feel like Michigan honestly has the best chances.
I like it. I like it. I always like a Big Ten contender in the national championships. I'm going to go ahead and pick up one of these cards here. Oh boy, MLB. Which AL player is your favorite to watch? I'm going to be unbiased here. I'm not going to pick a Blue Jay because that would be too easy. I think I'm gonna have to go with Mike Trout, and I know that's a generic answer, but just an all-around game. It's fun to watch him make plays in the outfield and when he's at the plate. So I think just for that alone, especially coming up runner-up in the who beat him? Mookie Betts, right? Yeah, he beat him in the running there. But second place is better than none. So I think I'm just gonna stay generic. I'll have to take Mike Trout.
I'm going to have to go the opposite of generic. I'm going to say J.D. Martinez from Boston. That dude can hit bombs. He can rope the ball anywhere he wants. He is better than Giancarlo and Aaron Judge combined. Not better than Mike Trout, though. Mike Trout's a great answer, and it's not a generic answer because he's the best baseball player of our generation. But I'm going to have to go J.D. Martinez just for what he does on and off the field.
I'm going to say Jose Altuve. I like watching him on the base paths. He's very similar in my mind to Javi Baez, and Javi Baez is one of my favorite players in the leagues. But very similar play styles, very aggressive, and they're awesome to watch on the base path. So,
J.D. Martinez, that's just something I never thought I'd never say. Former Detroit Tiger. Oh man, I got a miscellaneous question. Every football tailgate isn't complete without what? Oh man, I don't.
My answers probably aren't appropriate.
My answers aren't appropriate either. I mean, you got to have adult beverages at a tailgate. I mean, that's just how it is.
I'm just glad you got this question.
I mean, you got to have adult beverages at a tailgate. I haven't been to many. I've only been to a few, and I have not been to a single one that did not have them there.
I'm going to say bags.
Or bags. That's a great answer.
Cornhole.
Cornhole.
Bags, cornhole if you're from Iowa.
Well, fair enough. I think I'm gonna have to say food. I mean,
okay,
I understand
that's really good.
if you don't have adult beverages, that's one thing. But if you don't have food, I'm getting the hell out of there.
Yeah.
But I think I'm just gonna have to stick with that.
All right. NFL question: which franchise has the best fans?
Ooh, this is gonna get about 17 different answers.
Tell a Cowboys fan that they're not America's team, and you'll figure out the answer right there.
That's where I thought that was going.
I figured that's where that was going as well. I'm really glad. I'm like that these questions are going where I hope that we would pick them up at. Obviously, I love the Chicago Bears. I think every Bears fan is awesome. If you support this team, if you support this state, I mean, good for you. We've been through a lot in the past 30 years, to say the least. But I have to give a shout out to the Cleveland Browns. If you are a Cleveland Browns
that
fan,
was answer number 2.
and I mean a real Cleveland Browns fan, you are a freaking trooper.
You took my answer.
And shout out to you. Like Cale said, go dog pound. You guys actually finally have a franchise quarterback that I think everyone here, we like him. We like him a lot.
I love Cleveland.
So Baker Mayfield, he's a stud. I'm really like to see this franchise turn it around. But Cale, what about you?
Tyson's going to kill me on this, all right?
Oh, shut up.
And I get it. I understand it. But I'm going to have to say Philly after that Super Bowl win. I
Ooh.
mean, everybody bringing out the underdog shirts from anywhere, the horse mask, everything.
Those aren't real fans. They didn't cheer for their team until they were in the damn Super Bowl.
I'm gonna have to say Philadelphia.
Oh, what? We made it? Let's bring it. Yeah, super fan! They didn't even know their team existed until 8 months ago.
I'm going Philadelphia, and I ain't saying no more before I get hurt because I'm sitting next to him.
That's fair enough. Let's go ahead and take a card here. Oh boy, an NHL card. This will be a good one for you guys, but I'm gonna answer it anyway. Who finishes with a better record, the St. Louis Blues or the Chicago Blackhawks? I think to save myself from getting out of this room unscathed, I'm going to say the Chicago Blackhawks finish with a better record. But in all seriousness, I think they will, just because the past couple games, they've won by one, they've lost by one.
To the Hurricanes, a solid team.
Yeah, and that's what I want to get at. It's not like they're losing to scrubs, although we won't talk about the Arizona game. I just think Chicago overall. I think that even if it's only about a couple games, they'll pull it out. And I just really don't like the Blues. I mean, if I'm being honest, I really don't like St. Louis. Sorry, Gary, but the Blues suck. Yeah, go Blackhawks.
I'm on Blackhawks too, all biases included, just for the sheer fact that I will never pull for a St. Louis team other than if, like, maybe say this is going to be terrible if the Cardinals are playing the Yankees in the World Series.
Oh, yeah.
And
Oh, I
I'm
can't
hopeful
stand
for
the
St.
Yankees.
Louis all day. But no, I don't know. It's always a good race. It's tight. The record race in between Chicago and St. Louis is one to watch every year. I'm going to say Chicago, all biases included. What do you say?
Agreed. We're on top of them right now. We beat them the other day. That's basically what I'm basing it on. We beat them. So
We beat them twice now. So.
Yep. They're both bad. They're fighting for the bottom of the division.
Yep.
Hopefully, a new coach can turn things around, but I think Blackhawks will finish on top.
Minnesota's got our division though in the bag.
A shout out to the Wild. They're having a pretty good season.
Yes.
Nashville and Minnesota are on top, yeah.
Oh, I forgot Nashville's in our division too. Eee, that's tough.
Yikes.
They're good too. And I got an NBA question here. Besides your favorite team, which team do you enjoy watching the most? I have to say, what team do I watch the most? I can't say consider the Bulls because still.
I figured I'd
Bulls and the
exclude
Pacers.
Chicago and Indiana, but
Oh man, this is tough. Who do I watch? I watch everybody. I'm gonna have to say Boston, just for the sheer fact that I really like Scary Terry and Jason Tatum, and I also like Kyrie too. And he went to Boston to prove that he didn't need LeBron to make him good. I can't believe I'm saying that, but I don't mind watching the Boston Celtics.
Yeah, I think that's a good pick. If I can't pick the Bulls or the Timber Bulls or the Timber Sixers now because that's my new team, I guess I'll or the Sixer Bulls, not the Sixer Bulls.
Timber Sixer Bulls.
Yeah, that one. I would probably go with New Orleans. I love watching Anthony Davis play, so that's really it. He's one of my favorite players to watch. So
You're heading out west.
Yep.
I think this season, first of all, let me just say in years past, I've always watched Eastern Conference teams just because the West is so stacked, and I like to see Eastern Conference teams be competitive. Whether that's anyone in the top of the division, whether it be Philly, Boston, Toronto, Indiana, those guys, even Milwaukee. Shout out to Milwaukee this year. But I think my favorite team so far this season, this might surprise a lot of people, is the Los Angeles Clippers. They're 9-6. They're in the playoff race. Obviously, it's way too early, but reigning sixth man of the year, Lou Williams, looks really good. Man, Boban Marjanovic off the bench, he looks fantastic. Boban, yeah. Not to mention Patrick Beverley finally staying healthy. He's a junkyard dog. I love watching that guy play defense. And I think the acquisition of Marcin Gortat from Washington has really helped them out. And the rookie Gilgeous Alexander, I think that's how you say his name, from Kentucky, right? Yeah, he's been awesome too. I just really like this collection of talent they got on this team. A team that I didn't think would be in the running to make the playoffs, but right now they look solid, and I like watching them.
All right. Another NBA question. Favorite Laker all time? Ooh. That's not one that I thought I would have to think about. I feel like Magic's a generic answer, so I'm not going to pick Magic.
Ooh, I would say that Kobe's a generic answer.
Kobe's definitely a
And
generic
Shaq.
answer. Shaq's a generic answer, which is who I was going to go with. But besides them, I'm gonna kick it a little bit back. I'm going to say Elgin Baylor, going outside of the more generic ones. I'm going to say Elgin Baylor. The guy was just a stud, so that's really
Definitely
what I got.
one I didn't think that I would hear out of your mouth, but yeah, shout out to him. Back in the 60s, actually not quite that far. I think it was early 70s and early
sound
80s.
right.
But yeah, he was pretty awesome. I think for me, I don't care. I love Shaquille O'Neal. That's been my guy. I got a picture of him, 2 pictures actually up on my wall of Shaq. I love the Diesel, Superman, Shaq Daddy. He's got all sorts of nicknames. He's awesome. One of my favorite players of all time.
LeBron James is mine. No,
Get out.
Okay, I'm kidding.
Get out.
There's a lot to pick from.
I'm
Minus
kidding.
LBJ.
I'm taking Kareem Abdul-Jabbar just for the
Yeah.
sheer fact that he's the all-time points scorer in the NBA, leads everything.
Yeah.
Kareem is the guy.
Yeah.
I love the goggles that he wore. Invented the sky hook. Kareem's the man.
Freaking legend he is. Love that guy. Wow, 3 NBA questions in a row. I promise I didn't put more of these in than everything else. It says, who will win Rookie of the Year? Right now,
Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
ain't that the truth? No, I think right now, we've only played 12, 14 games of the season. Jeez. I feel like a lot of people would say DeAndre Ayton, but I think I'm going to go with Luka Doncic. Mostly because, man, he's the stud on that Mavericks
He
team
has
right
looked
now.
good.
I mean, really good. He's leading all rookies. I think, no, besides Trae Young, he's leading all rookies in points. He's also second place in assists. and then he's also second place in rebounds. So, I mean, that's behind DeAndre Ayton and Trae Young, of course, but I think he's a Swiss Army knife. He does it all. I think he's a lot better than people expected him to be coming in. I said that he should have been the first overall pick in the draft coming into it. If you don't believe me, go back and check it. I said it a bunch. But, yeah, I think I'm going to go with Luka Doncic.
Tyson, I'm probably stealing yours, but I'm saying Wendell Carter. You talk about Swiss Army knife. Wendell Carter's been doing everything, too. Scoring, rebounding, blocking, assisting, everything and anything.
Needs more minutes.
And he needs way more minutes, especially put him out there with Lowry, man. Lowry can shoot. Wendell Carter can patrol the paint. They'll win some games. So I'm going to have to say Wendell Carter. I probably stole yours.
You guys took both of my answers. I think both of those guys have looked really good so far this year. So I'll just say both of them.
Both of them? Fair enough.
Actually, well, I'm restarting that petition for Donovan Mitchell. But
I
that's
was about to literally just say that. Because he got hosed last year.
Yep.
All right. MLB question. Oh, God, am I glad I got this one. Who will be the first Chicago Cub to be traded? You ready for this?
Yikes, I already know what's coming.
Chris Bryant.
Yep.
Chris Bryant's going to be the first Cub out of there after this squandering, terrible season he had this past year. I understand getting hit in the face is a very traumatic experience when you get hit in the face with high heat, about 98. I understand that. This is the big leagues, Chris Bryant. If you ain't going to perform, get out.
Well, I don't know if it's that
blunt.
harsh, but I would probably agree with you. He's definitely the biggest trade commodity we have.
He's by far.
Right, so I don't want to see him go, but if anyone's going to go, I have a feeling it's going to be him because they can get a lot for him.
Here's the thing, real quick, before you go, Gavin. You got to keep Wilson because we need a franchise catcher.
Yep.
Wilson's the next Yadier Molina to us. That being said, you can't get rid of Javi. You can't get rid of Rizzo. So those are the three guys that I only see being protected. I mean, that's what I don't know what you think. That's what I think. Honestly, I don't know what your opinion is. I want to hear it, though.
No, I agree. I think those are the only guys that are protected. Those are the only ones that are irreplaceable at this moment. Those are the only ones that we don't have someone to fill in for. We have David Bodie to fill in for Chris Bryant. And we have Happ to fill in for Chris Bryant. So those three are the only ones not replaceable. So I'd agree with that 100%.
I thought it would be Chris Bryant, but I think I'm going to go another direction, although I think it's a good one, is I think Schwarber. Probably
Schwarber will be the first traded, agreed. But I think
what you get the most out of, I think, is Bryant, like you guys said. But I think unfortunately, my guy from Indiana University, Kyle Schwarber, is probably going to be the first to go.
Yeah. I forgot about him.
Shout out to him, man. Wait, this is such a big bat, such a nice guy. I love that guy.
The only thing I heard Schwarber's
bat.
Pretty big.
I'm out. See ya.
That's it.
Moving on. All right,
Moving
another
on.
NBA question. Who is the greatest player of all time? MJ, moving on.
Next question.
Yeah, Michael Jordan.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to make the LeBron argument here.
I'm going to say Larry Bird.
Yeah, piss off.
Larry Bird.
Well, hey,
Piss off, Ghost.
I love Larry Legend, but
Larry
no,
Bird.
it's Michael. Get out of here. All right, MLB. Which team has the best chance to make the playoffs that missed it in 2018?
This is a good one. This is going to go anywhere.
Wow. That
This
does
could
make
go a
me
lot
think
of
I've
about
got
that.
about 17 teams in mind. Keep that in your head.
Jeez. This might surprise a lot of people. Even though it's in that AL East, I think Tampa Bay.
Yes.
You took my answer.
That's number one.
I mean, that's all I have to say. I mean, it's going to be tough, but I think the Rays have a great
Who
chance.
do you think number two in my head is?
And we're staying in the American League?
Yep.
Wow. Let's
Seattle.
Nope.
see. No.
Baltimore.
Now you can leave.
I really don't know. That was
Chicago White Sox.
But next year?
Next year.
Next year?
I don't know.
That's
That's too
I
soon.
think it's going to be next season because they're going to pull some guys up and they're going to get some pitching because boy howdy they have the cap room. So I'm taking the White Sox.
Can I just say real quick, it really sucks to have the Red Sox, Yankees, and Rays in the same division as the Blue Jays. I just want to put that out there.
Tough,
This
Yeah.
let me just be blunt.
That's
This
a yikes
blows.
for me.
It blows.
In NL Central, me and him got the Reds we can beat up on, although we got swept by them almost twice this year.
Well, we got the Orioles still, but that ain't enough.
That's tight competition between
That's-
the Jays and the Orioles.
That's
down
not
there.
enough.
What do you got? Are you still looking
I
at
was
teams?
I was gonna say Tampa Bay. You took my answer, but I'd say St. Louis.
Yeah, that's
In our
a good one,
division,
too.
St. Louis was close this year. We saw them kind of fall off right there at the end, but
It's always a
St.
good
Louis
pick.
is always in contention. They're always close, so there's definitely no doubt that they can make it.
All right, is it? I just went, so it's your go.
NFL. I don't even know if I want to read this one.
Do it.
Is Nathan Peterman the worst QB in history?
Yeah.
Between him and Dilfer, it's a tight competition.
Well, one of them has a Super Bowl ring, and the other's out of the league. So.
Yeah, I don't know. It's tight. I don't really know. I don't know that much about the NFL.
I need to find Nathan Peterman real quick. Look up his career stats because I know they're not good.
All I know is that I saw some crazy stat that said if Aaron Rodgers threw his next 1,240 passes to a defensive player and they picked it off every single time and ran it back for a touchdown, he would still have a higher QBR than Nathan Peterman.
I completely believe that.
My thing is, I don't watch enough NFL. I don't follow these guys as hard as you two do. So
whoever dug up that statistic, thank you for that. However long it took you to sit down and crunch those numbers, thank you for that. Because that is one for the history books, I swear. I can't think of a worse quarterback. I mean, I know it's recent, and I'm probably brushing someone under the rug, but I mean, maybe Jamarcus Russell,
maybe Rosen.
Yeah,
he ain't looking so good. Although we can't say too much.
You can't say yet.
Because
I mean,
Peyton Manning had a rough first rookie year too.
Yeah.
So
I think
what he did.
I think Jamarcus Russell is the only other one that comes to mind in the past decade that has been that bad.
That's true. He was a really, really big flop.
Johnny Manziel, bust. He was more of a bust than a bad.
He won more games than Nathan Peterman did.
Nathan Peterman played in 8 games total. He's got a 1-3 record, 3 touchdowns, and 12 picks.
Holy God!
He's got more interceptions than games played. He's got 4 times more interceptions than touchdowns. I'm gonna say he's pretty bad. I'm gonna go ahead and say he's the worst.
I think we're in a agreement then.
I would rather shoot myself in the foot than have that guy as a
All right, Tyson, I think you're up.
What I said was tough.
All right, NCAA football. Who has the best chance to knock off Alabama?
Oh, good question. I like that.
I think the only team with a chance, not the best chance, I think the only team with a chance is Michigan.
Yep. I
think Michigan has the only team whose defense can compare to Alabama's, who can keep them in the game, and I think their offense has come on incredibly strong. They have 7 games over 40 points scored so far this year. They have 8 games allowing 20 points or under. I'm going to say Michigan is the only team with a chance.
I like the Michigan pick, but I think it's Clemson, and I know a lot of people think it's Clemson, but I like that you took Michigan. The one thing I don't like about Michigan is, for whatever reason, the past month they've forgotten how to throw the football. They just can't do it. If you tell them to move up and down the field by passing the ball,
that's definitely been their weakness.
It's like watching a high school team out there. It's really bad. But running the football, one of the best teams in the country. Defensively, probably the best team in the country, arguably. Man, if they could just learn how to throw the football, I think they'd be in great shape.
I refuse to pull for Michigan football, period. So, therefore, I'm going to go with the team that made them their 8-1 record. I'm going to go with Notre Dame Fighting Irish for the sheer fact that, yes, I agree with you about Michigan's defense, but they still beat Michigan. Notre Dame did. Although they
first game of the year.
I understand that, too. I get that. But, man, I just have a hard time pulling for Michigan in general. Even though
I get
that they're – I don't know. I just feel like Notre Dame has the best chance.
Georgia would be my second answer.
Okay, here we go. The next one, NFL. Where does Drew Brees rank all time in your list? For me, I have Drew Brees I'm going to say top 6. I know it's a weird number, but I got him 6th best quarterback of all time. I just think he's deserved it. If he wins the Super Bowl this year, he may move up to top 5, maybe even top 4. He's just, man, there's so many passing records that guy has in the books right now, especially facing adversity, being, like 5'10". I mean, that's insane. He was one of the shortest quarterbacks to win the Super Bowl ever, believe it or not. And it also issued in the era of drafting people like Russell Wilson, like Baker Mayfield. It's all because of Drew Brees. So I got him 6th best all time.
I got him in my top 3, just for the sheer fact that he's breaking records this season left and right. So I got him top 3.
He's definitely in the top. I'd say he's definitely in the top 6, like Gavin did. I don't know where I put him. It's been a while since I pondered this. My top 3 are definitely not him. I really, honestly, I forget to put him in a list whenever I'm thinking of quarterbacks. I completely push him to the back of my mind when I'm thinking about greatest quarterbacks of all time, and I don't know why, because he's phenomenal. But I can't give you a definite number, but he's definitely top 6.
I guess that's what we're going with. I think he could be as high as 3 or 4. It all depends. I think it's going to depend on the end of this year. If he's holding up that second Lombardi, I think he's going to move into a lot of people's top 5s.
I have a hard time placing him because he's not the field general that Tom Brady is. He doesn't control the entire field like Peyton Manning did. But he's a phenomenal quarterback. So I have a really hard time placing him because he's got immense talent, all the talent in the world.
This may sound crazy, but I think the best comparison or the best argument you could come up with is saying who had a better career, Drew Brees or Brett Favre. Yeah. I think that's the best comparison you come up with.
But I still have a hard time placing him above Brett Favre because Brett Favre had a great career too. Brett Favre and Drew Brees, both outstanding careers. Brett Favre has one more Super. No, they both have.
One Super Bowl, but he's been one more time to the Super Bowl.
But I think Brett Favre, once again, goes back. He was much more of a field general. He knew exactly what was going on at all times, and he controlled everything that happened. So I have a hard time placing him before or above or behind Brett Favre. I think they're very comparable. Yeah, agreed.
Moving on to a real sport. Can you name 3 players on the White Sox? Wellington Castillo, Adam Eaton, Tim Anderson, Yohan Moncada, Jose Abreu. Do I need to keep going?
Name as many as you can. I put that question in for you guys to see
some for you guys.
To see how well you knew.
Yuris Chassin plays in Milwaukee.
Yuris
Familia. Yep.
So we got 5. You can get some more.
I used to know the outfielders. That was about it.
So okay, you got Adam Eaton. You got Yohan Moncada, Tim Anderson, Jose Abreu, Wellington Castillo, Familia.
That's all right. That's all I can think of.
6 is enough. That's more than I thought. So I think what we're going to do is just go ahead and move on to the next question. I put that in there just to see how well you guys knew your neighbors. That's really all it came down to.
Who is your favorite to win the Stanley Cup? I am going to say the Tampa Bay Lightning are looking really good right now. They're leading the NHL in points with 27. They're tied with the Predators.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they're looking really good. The Eastern Division is definitely not as talented as the West, I would say. Considering they've still got the 2 last reigning NHL champions, but that's okay. But I think the Lightning look really good.
I'm still going with the Maple Leafs. I know that's biased, but they're only, I think, either 1 game or a half game behind the Lightning right now, which I believe they've yet to play each other. So after that game, the first game that is, it should be a good one. I think if I'm going to go with a Western team, I'm going to have to say Nashville. I mean, I think that's undoubtedly.
Nashville's, that's who I've got.
Yeah, so
really good.
Nashville's.
I mean, those 2 for me. I like the Lightning pick, but I'm going to have to go with the Leafs or the Predators.
Nashville's goaltending's unreal. With Pekka then they got Varos coming off of the bench.
Well, the Subban's on injured right now.
Yeah, he's
which
injured
he'll be
right
back.
now, but that don't matter because they still got the guys like their captain. What's his name? Married to Carrie Underwood. Oh man, what's his name? Fisher. Derek Fisher.
Derek Fisher.
So with him as patrolling the ice, they're just too strong. They're too solid.
Oh, is this
Yeah,
mine?
that's your
It's me
turn.
next. All right, here we go. Another MLB question. Here we go. Says, who is your favorite former Cubs player that is still in the league today?
Oh,
That's
Man.
tough, man.
yikes!
Well, I'm gonna have to say.
I need to make sure mine's still in the league.
I gotta say Jake Arrieta, just because I loved watching him pitch before I started getting really into baseball. Long before I was a fan of the Toronto Blue Jays. I did watch Cubs. I did watch White Sox. So I think Jake Arrieta, for me, before he went to the Philadelphia, was probably the guy to watch for me.
That's a really good answer. I like that. I didn't even think of Arrieta, but I'm really glad you brought that up. I'd say mine's probably Starlin Castro. I really liked him with the Cubs. I realized he wasn't as great as we needed him to be, and I'm glad he made way for these younger guys, but I really liked him when we had him, so I'm going to say Castro is mine.
He's not in the league anymore.
Who were you gonna say?
Ryan Theriot.
Oh.
Ryan the Riot. He was a phenomenal player to watch, as well as Tony Campana. But still in the league, I'm going to have to go with Starlin Castro as well, even though we had to trade him for reasons to get, Javi up, as well as, that bust of Addison Russell. Starlin Castro, since my two guys aren't active anymore.
Shout out to Papa Ross, by the way.
True.
He's not active either.
I know, old Daddy Ross.
Ross.
When he was in the league, man, I love that guy. I think everybody loved that guy.
Even Cardinals fans love that guy.
How could you not?
He's a genuine human being.
Mm-hmm.
So the NBA, favorite player that deserves more love.
In the NBA?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to say Scary Terry. Scary Terry deserves way more love, way more credit than what he got last year in the finals. Terry Rozier. He did a lot, too, with Tatum. He's off to a slow start this year, as well as Tatum. They're both off to a slow start, so you can't.
I think the Celtics as a whole are off to a slow start.
And Gordon Hayward, speaking of him, man, he just looks bad. He just looks so slow. But anyway, I'm going to have to go with Scary Terry. I love that guy. I just love how he plays, love how he carries himself off the field or off the court. So, yeah.
Come back to me, I'm thinking.
All right, I think for me, I think this guy gets a lot of love as it is, but especially this season. He's really come into his bench role. He's been a vital part of this Los Angeles Lakers team. I'm going to have to go with Lance Stevenson. I love Lance. If you don't love Lance, then you're probably a LeBron bandwagoner. But you're going to have to get used to loving him now because LeBron loves him. He's the one that recruited him to get that one-year deal with the Lakers. Lance, to me, I mean, he just does everything you want him to do. I mean, he'll terrorize the best player on the other team. He can shoot threes at a pretty decent clip. I think he's right at league average or slightly above. And that he's the goon of the NBA, and I love it. I absolutely love Lance. I love his antics. I love him dancing everywhere. He's just a fun guy. I think he's great for the league.
I'm gonna stay on your side here, Gavin. I'm gonna go with Tyson Chandler.
Your name's Tyson?
Yep. But that guy just doesn't get enough love. People forget that he is a defensive player of the year. He's stupid dangerous from inside 2 feet. You just can't stop the guy. He's an absolute tank. So I'm gonna say Tyson Chandler. We've already seen that. He's won the Lakers a couple games. So
can I give you one more?
Sure.
Real quick. Sabonis. Don't toss Sabonis.
Oh yes.
That guy deserves more credit for what he's doing right
Son
now.
of Arbitas.
Yes.
Mini Mongo is what I like to call him.
That guy is unreal coming off that bench.
Absolutely.
Miscellaneous question: have you ever been a bandwagon fan?
If you
Go Sixer Bulls.
Let's just say, if you ever answered this honestly.
I don't consider myself a bandwagon fan. Maybe in the NBA this year because I'm a Jimmy Butler fan.
So you're a fan of a player.
Yeah,
and
I think that's a little
given
different.
up on the Bulls more or less, at least for the last couple years.
Until they fired Gary Paxton?
Yeah. It's been a yikes up in Chicago, but I definitely follow Jimmy Butler, so I've really liked the teams he's played for. Timber Bulls, the Sixer Bulls, whatever you want to. I guess the only other time I could consider myself a bandwagon fan, I don't know, I was really big on the Seahawks when they were hot a few years ago. Just because, once again, I liked Richard Sherman and I liked Russell Wilson. But yeah, I guess, yeah, I've been a bandwagon fan.
Since he gave a player, you get one too, because I've got one that I'm a bandwagon fan of.
Oh, geez.
If you can think of one.
LeBron!
No, that's seriously not him. Different
Oh, this will probably surprise a lot of people, but it's Lou Williams. And that's before he even got to Toronto. He's played for like 7 different teams in his career. But every team he's been on, I've tried to follow him because I love his game. Ever since he started off in the early 2000s with Philadelphia.
Sixth man of the century.
Yeah, for real. Other than Jamal Crawford, I think the best 6 man out there has got to be Sweet Lou. Right now with the Clippers, I think this is the best he's looked since, probably since his Atlanta Hawks days, when he was only there for a couple of years. But he looks phenomenal right now, and I love watching him play.
You got a team?
Oh, a team, geez. For the NFL, it's got to be the Cowboys. I don't know what it is about that team, and I know Tyson's going to eat this up, but America's team, man. I mean, other than the Bears, I mean that's the team I got to go for. And I have every single year that the Bears have struggled. When Tony Romo was there, I love watching Tony Romo, Eastern Illinois boy. He's fantastic. I tell you what, he should be in the Hall of Fame just for being the best undrafted player ever. But that's a story for a different day. I'd probably have to say the Cowboys. NBA, man, no, there's no one like the Raptors. I'm a Raptors fan until I die.
I'm just gonna put it out there since you said America's team for the Cowboys. That's not up for debate.
No.
That's fact. I just want to put that out there.
Factual. Been factual since the 1960s. If you don't like it, look it up.
All right, so my bandwagon team this season, we both called it. And no, I'm not just watching them. I am bandwagoning hard. It is the Cleveland Browns. Like I am 100% all in on the bandwagon. I'm a Bears fan. I'm just rooting for this Cleveland Brown team really hard. Can
you bandwagon a team that's not good?
I don't know. Is that a thing?
Can someone answer that in the comments? Can you bandwagon a bad team?
I'm a Baker Mayfield guy, though. I'm a Carlos Hyde guy, until he was there. I didn't realize how good that Myles Garrett was. Chubb, that dude's unreal. So I'm bandwagon. Denzel Ward. But my player, and you guys know this, Jake's going to kill me when he hears this, is Juju Smith-Schuster. My God, I love that guy. He is so funny, and he's fun to watch on the field. I mean, him and Antonio Brown have to be him and Antonio Brown have to be the best wide receiver duo in the league.
Well, I think a lot of people are on that bandwagon as well.
But I'm not a Steelers fan.
No,
or a bandwagoner. I'm a Juju fan.
No, that's fair enough. I think we can roll with that. Let's see the next question here. NFL. Which non-QB rookie has impressed you the most this season? Well, speaking of the Cleveland Browns,
we just answered about.
I got to go with Denzel Ward. That guy is undoubtedly going to be the defensive rookie of the year. I don't see how you could vote against that. The guy's got almost double-digit interceptions this season. He's already in double-digit turnovers. I mean, that's just crazy. I mean, he's propelled. I think him by himself has propelled this Cleveland defense to top 10. Man, he's just an incredible player, phenomenal.
Go ahead.
I want to say Saquon, but at the same time, I'm going to stick with the Browns too. I got to go Nick Chubb. Man, what that dude can do is unreal. He should have been playing all season.
Yeah, agreed. I really like Nick Chubb. To argue Gavin a little bit, I think the only other player that can compete for Defensive Rookie of the Year is going to be Leighton Vander Esch, middle linebacker for the Cowboys.
If he plays like he did last week, the rest of the season, that's a really good impression. But I think Denzel Ward, what he's been doing the whole year, I think it's just a larger resume.
Agreed. I think Ward. I think undoubtedly he's going to win it. But I think if anyone's going to contest it, it's going to be Vander Esch.
For sure.
I believe he's leading all rookies in tackles right now.
He is.
But
Solos
Ward,
and joint.
But Ward has had such just a good year. But the player that's impressed me the most is Saquon.
Oh, has
he
to be.
is the best thing about a bad situation over there, and he has looked really, really good in every game.
He's going to run away with that Offensive Rookie of the Year. I mean, it's not even close.
Not only that, he's going to wear himself out because he has to run that. Every piece of that offense is ran through him.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens when you play for the Giants. But
so moving on to the NBA, favorite non-All-Star player to watch. He's going to be a future All-Star here probably in the next 2 or 3 seasons if he keeps this up. I'm going Sabonis again. Sabonis coming off the bench. He's giving you I think he scored almost 33 points in 3 different games this season. He goes down on the boards. He battles anybody that's down there. I want to see somebody like that, of that guy's stature, take this kid on. This guy's unreal.
Oh, he's not afraid either. I mean, he'll contest any shot. He doesn't worry about getting put on a poster because he puts people on posters.
I still can't pronounce his first name. I've heard it pronounced
DeMontis.
I've heard
DeMontis Sabonis, I think is how you say it.
I've heard about 79 different pronunciations.
Yeah, well, I think Arvidas kind of confused everybody with the naming of his child, but you know, I call him Mini Mongo, Big Mongo, Mini Mongo. So, I like that pick. I think for me. Man, I think I'm going to do this just out of respect. I think I have to say Mike Conley. I mean, this guy's
That's exactly who I was going to say.
Really?
When he can be healthy, he is so fun to watch.
Isn't
it
he?
Is insane.
And I think not only that, he's injury prone, but he plays in a small market like Memphis, and he doesn't get the attention he deserves, I don't think. But man, yeah, that guy can ball. I mean, I remember seeing him at Ohio State. Man, has it been like 7 or 8 years ago? It's been a while. But I remember watching him, and when he went in the lottery at the draft, I mean, I was thinking this kid's going to be great for the league, and then he's had 3 or 4 injury-prone seasons. He made it to the Western Conference Finals with that Grizzly team one year. He's been all
Zebo carrying away.
Marc Gasol,
awesome
those guys.
Man, that's forever.
With Tony Allen as well. I think they had the best defensive, or they were a top 5 defense for 3 years straight.
They were holding teams to like 92 points a game or something.
Yeah, it was fantastic, and they took Golden State to 6 games, which is really hard to do. That was also when they were up and coming. But I got to go with Mike Conley.
got hurt in that series, I believe.
Yeah, that orbital fracture he had.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. When he's on the floor, I don't think there's anyone more electric than that. He has all kinds of potential. It's just he's injury prone. But when he is on the floor, he's one of my favorite players to watch.
Yeah, and it's tough to be an all-star in the West, too.
Absolutely. NFL question: who is your favorite Green Bay Packer?
I ain't answering that.
I thought this would be a fun one to throw in.
That's interesting.
It could be all time. It could be now. I don't care. I'm just curious you guys' answers.
Okay.
Sorry, I'll shut up.
All time.
I know we all don't like Green Bay here, so I figured should get some.
Since you throw the all time in there, I'm saying Brett Favre. That dude's butt looks awesome in those jeans.
Wow, that's a heck of a reason to. I'll tell you what, we'll just
answers
leave
from
that
my
for,
mom out there.
We'll leave that for what it is. Yeah, Brett is a heck of a quarterback, obviously Hall of Famer. I think for me, and it's because I've gone up against him my entire life. Clay Matthews. I love that guy's work ethic, and I'm really sorry that he keeps getting flagged for roughing the passer for doing his job. But
he landed on him too hard.
Yeah, for real. But that dude, man, he's just a workhorse, and he's been there well over a decade. He's going to be a lifer. And shout out to his brother too on the Atlanta Falcons, I believe, offensive tackle.
Sounds right.
So, yeah, I just got to go with Clay. It's pretty much him and Rodgers, the only two guys I have respect for on that Green Bay team.
Cale, you're not answering, or are you going?
I'm abstaining.
Abstain.
All right, moving on.
Fair enough. We're just going to move along here. Another miscellaneous question. Do you believe in running up the score?
Yes. 100%.
Absolutely.
100%.
My philosophy is...
Unless it's in Little League.
Oh, screw that.
No, unless it's in Little League, I don't believe
Run up the score no matter what. If you
Crush
don't,
those kids' dreams.
if you don't want,
Yeah,
listen.
Oh,
If you don't want my team to score, do something about it. That's my philosophy.
I am all for that. You don't like it? Stop it. Good luck.
That's all I have to say about it. I mean, that's what it comes
I'm saying
to.
that in Little League because it happened to me when I was in Little League and it pissed me off. So therefore,
That's the point.
If
Get
you
better.
don't like it, stop
Get
it.
better.
I was pitching. Man.
Oh, yikes. Rough.
That's all sports,
So it's
by the
all
way.
your fault.
So that's what I'm saying, except for Little League.
And from that day, Cale never played baseball again.
I think Cale's the reason they implemented the 10-run mercy rule, but
All right, I'm leaving. Miscellaneous. Who has the best color scheme? NHL, NBA, NFL, and MLB. Hands down, those City Edition Chicago Bulls jerseys for this season. Hands down. No questions asked.
Baby blue Chargers.
Nope.
oh man, that is a
powder
good one.
blue. That's a
That is
nice
a really
jersey.
good one. I think, man.
With that nice shiny yellow one. Oh, that's a nice jersey.
Well, you're going to really make Dad happy with that because that's what he was when he was in high school.
I know this is
Powder
gonna.
blue Centennial Chargers.
I know this is gonna sound really weird, and this is absolutely 112% bias. But those 1995 retro Toronto Raptors purple jerseys with the big
I can
Barney
dig
dinosaur on it.
I can dig that.
I tell you what, when Vince Carter was wearing those and windmilling on people and jumping over 7-foot Frenchmen, I loved it. I loved every bit of it.
Color scheme in general, though, with all of these included, it's got to be Pittsburgh. Because have you noticed all of their teams are black and yellow? Have you noticed?
Wow,
that?
I never thought about that.
All of their teams are black and yellow. Pittsburgh, the Steelers, the Pens, and the Pirates, all black and yellow.
Yeah, I think their city does it the best, but I don't think black and yellow is the best color combination.
Those black on black
I think-
unis that the Steelers wore the other night were tough.
I think any team that's red and black has the best color scheme, in my opinion. It's hard to mess up a red and a black combo.
Yeah.
You can put it together any way you want. It always looks good. So I think best color scheme has to go with any team that's red and black. So Falcons, Raptors.
I think if I have to
Hawks.
go with like a classic look, I'd probably have to say either the Lakers or the Celtics, just because
I do like the yellow.
those jerseys are timeless.
Yeah.
Those colors are timeless, and I
Think
really
about all the
like
guys
those.
that wore them colors, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just said that's what I'm saying. It holds a lot of traditional value.
NHL, who is your favorite goalkeeper and why?
Ooh,
Wow, that one's tough.
I like this question.
I'm going to go Marc-Andre Fleury
Mm-hmm.
out of Vegas. People said he was too old, couldn't compete anymore. There's a reason his team didn't protect him, and that's why he ended up going to Vegas. I think he just said, hey, piss off, watch me. I am that good. I just love his work ethic, and I love his get-her-done kind of attitude. And you doubt me, watch. You don't think I can, watch me. So I think he's my favorite.
I'm going to answer this as a second or third year hockey fan, as I've only been watching this for that many years. If that answers your questions out there for why Gavin doesn't know anything about hockey, I have to go with Friedrich Andersen because he has the mindset of it doesn't matter as long as I block You know, so many shots. If I only let up 3 or 4 and we score 5, we'll win the game. And I love that mentality because he knows that he's limited, but he still goes out there and does his job. And he had a hell of an assist last night to Mitch Marner, and that was one of the prettiest things I've ever seen from a goalkeeper.
Glenn Henry, a.k.a. Mr. Goalie Hall, played for the Chicago Blackhawks from 51 to 72.
Taking us back.
Back before the goaltenders wore face masks, or even the Texas Chainsaw Massacre face masks.
Oh,
Glenn Hall,
boy.
best goaltender of all time.
All right, so is that what we're sticking with then?
I'm throwing it back.
Fair enough. I like it.
Yeah, you throw it back real good, huh?
Tyson's gonna like this one. I got the NFL. Who wins the NFC East?
Oh, yikes.
I hate to say this,
Who's
but
in the NFC East?
well, we got the
Cowboys,
Eagles,
Giants,
Redskins,
Eagles,
Giants,
Yes,
Cowboys.
That's what I was making sure.
If it's not going to be the Redskins, I do think it'll be the Cowboys. But that's all going to depend on if they beat Atlanta on Sunday. I think that's going to be the breaking point because if they go 4-6, I don't think they can come back from it. But 5-5 is a hell of a lot better than 4-6. Right now, it's got to be Washington. That defense is stout. As long as Alex Smith keeps doing what Alex Smith does, they'll make it to the divisional round and then get bounced. So, I mean, that's who I got.
We've been best friends forever now, but it doesn't mean I still don't like ruffling your feathers. So Philly, fly Eagles, fly.
I'm gonna say the Redskins have the best chance to win at this point. They're 2 games up. They're 2-0 in the division right now.
Should be 1-1.
Yeah, the Cowboys have a chance. Stephen A. First off, shut up, Stephen A. They're gonna lose 3 of their next 4. That's absolutely wrong. I will agree they're probably gonna lose to the Saints. But they have to play the Eagles again, they play the Redskins, and they play, I don't remember who, but I think if they win 3 of their next 4 and lose 1 of them, I think they're all in. I think they'll win the East. But if they go 2-2, 1-3, 0-4 in their next 4, I think the Cowboys are out. But I think the Redskins have the best shot right now.
Me and you're going to love this question. It's an MLB question.
Oh, good.
Favorite MLB players in the National League? Exclamation. No Cubs.
Have you seen Bryce Harper's hair?
I've seen Bryce Harper.
How did I know Tyson would go straight to Bryce Harper? How did I know?
Not just him. His hair is included.
Oh, okay.
You go ahead, because I got to think about this.
For me, oh, man. I feel like that's tough. I would probably have to go with... You guys, I don't know if you guys will like this or not. I'm gonna have to say Bumgarner.
That's a good answer. That's a good answer.
I like watching him pitch.
Mad Bum.
I really wanted to go with a Cub, but yeah, I'd have to say Bumgarner. I mean, he's been the guy for gosh, how many years now with the Giants?
Several.
Just yeah, those 2 World Series wins in 3 years. That was really impressive, and he still shows up game in and game out. Really like his work ethic, and man, he's still got some nasty pitches left in the tank. So I'm gonna go with him.
I'm going with your 2018 Cy Young winner, Jake DeGrom. That dude's on a terrible team, terrible franchise. I love watching that dude work. And just think, if he had scored an average, if the Mets would have scored an average of 2 runs, he wouldn't have lost nothing but 3 games this year. So Jake DeGrom, I love watching that guy pitch. Sorry, Max Scherzer, you're not the best in the National League. Jake DeGrom is.
I forgot the question said no Cubs, so I can't answer Bryce Harper.
Oh
my God!
I'm gonna go with Buster Posey.
That's a good one.
Another one off of Gavin's team there, the old Giants. I think Buster Posey is another one of those workhorse guys. Been in the league a few years, and he's been good for all of them. If you can count on anybody, it's Buster Posey, whether that's offense or defense. He is the smartest catcher in the league. He knows exactly what's going at all times, and I think he is half the reason that Madison Bumgarner is so successful.
Now that you said that, can I just hop on your bandwagon? I think I'm going to jump on the Posey bandwagon after that.
I think Posey's a stud, man. Yeah, he's definitely arguably in the conversation for best catcher every year.
Yep.
Oh, me. Sorry. Another miscellaneous question. Favorite sport to watch outside the Big Four? I don't know if we've ever talked about this on the show, but lacrosse is my absolute favorite sport to watch in just about anything. I think it's electric. There's so much going on in lacrosse, and I don't even understand it all. But I think it's an awesome combination of everything that I think is cool. And I love watching lacrosse. That final answer. Water polo is cool, too.
Water polo.
I've got 2.
Sure.
Number 1, curling.
Yeah.
Dude, yes, curling, yes.
Number 2,
Beer drinking 40-year-old dads.
that's exactly right. Number 2, table tennis or ping pong.
Yep.
Watching that in the Olympics is what them guys can do on a ping pong table. It's absolutely nuts. R.I.P. headphone users from that.
Yeah.
I'm really surprised that you didn't say golf. I know you watch a lot of the
I
PGA.
love golf, but man, curling, that's just a whole nother level.
Yeah, curling is awesome. I think for me, that's going to sound weird. It's NASCAR for me.
Okay.
I love watching NASCAR. It's kind of a forgotten sport nowadays, but every now and then I try to catch at least half the races when the season starts. Go ahead.
Fun fact, I'm named after a NASCAR driver.
Mm-hmm.
You know who it is?
I'm not off the top of my head.
Cale Yarborough fought Donnie Allison. I can't remember what year it was.
Oh, that's fantastic.
My,
I remember the fight now that you said it.
my mom loved that name. She swears to God that it's not the reason why she named me this, but I'm going to go ahead and disagree with her because where else would she have heard my name spelled the way it is?
Yeah.
True. Because the rest of the kale in the world, like the green kind,
It's
is...
a K.
Yeah.
Every other Kale I've ever met is with a K.
I know this is real
I'm
generic,
glad she
but
didn't name me after the vegetable.
yeah, because I remember when I first seen your name written, I was like, oh, thank goodness. Because as soon as I heard it, I was like, ain't that green stuff that
You
you
look
cook
at me,
in the...
you know I don't eat vegetables.
Yeah. Anyway, NASCAR, big Junior fan. Sad to see him retire, but
Absolutely.
yeah, go
You're
Junior.
a Junior fan?
I was
Absolutely.
a Junior fan, yeah.
I'm a Richard Petty fan.
Oh yeah,
Richard
I love
the
Petty.
King.
Yeah, the King, absolutely. Number 43. That record will never be touched. 200 wins, never.
Back to answer your question about golf or curling over golf. I can love to watch golf, but I can get turned up to curling.
Oh yeah.
Yell at the TV.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, I'm telling you,
It's a fierce competition for
Yeah.
everyone involved. Spectators,
Yes,
TV.
I thought it was stupid as hell. I'm not gonna lie. When I was younger, like in high school, but when that 2016 Olympics came around, I mean, I got into it. I can't lie. I really did.
Who was on the curling team this year? The guy from Wisconsin, Matt something. He had the hell
Or 2014, excuse me. That's what it
I
was.
can't remember his name, but I remembered Matt, but I can't remember his last name.
That guy, oh my, he's the epitome of talk about beer drinking dads.
Yep. All right, moving
I'm
on.
gonna look this up.
We got a question here. NFL. Who's your favorite player in the NFL that does not play for your favorite team? Wow, that is. I wrote it and I still don't have an answer for it. I tell you what, I'll just keep it simple and then Tyson can love me for it. I'll say Ezekiel Elliott.
Nice.
Mostly because I mean the dude's a truck and he can hurdle 6'2" guys. I mean it's truly incredible. Now if he would just learn
State
to stick
champion high hurdler.
yes, if he would learn to stick the landing, I think I'd like him a little bit more. But yeah, I think it's got to be Zeke. Top three running back, if not the best running back other than Todd Gurley in the league. Yeah, I'm sticking with Zeke.
Matt Hamilton is his name.
Matt Hamilton, there it is.
And to answer that question, Juju Smith-Schuster just has everything. One, if you don't follow him on YouTube, you have to. He's an amazing social media entrepreneur. He was a big video gamer too, big Fortnite player. Shout out. Going off of that, his hit on Vontaze Burfict just won me over as a rookie.
Oh, that was
laying
awesome.
the wood down, and then his punt returning skills are unmatched.
You scratched mine, so I'm going to scratch yours. I've been a very big Khalil Mack fan this season. I think he's looked really good out there.
All right.
My other answer would be Baker Mayfield. Since we started this show, I can't go without talking about that guy. He's an
Figured that
absolute
was
stud.
coming. Figured it was coming.
Oh, sorry. NHL. Which current day team has the best goon? I'm going to call him enforcer. The best enforcer in the league right now is Tom Wilson.
Tom Wilson.
I figured that's who you're going to go with because that's who I was going with, especially after he came back, and he's already wailing on people, and I love it.
You could also throw TJ Oshie or Jamie Benn in there. TJ Oshie's not necessarily a big enforcer, but he likes to scrap, and Jamie Benn, as handsome as he is, talk about dudes with nice hair, Jamie Benn's got a handsome face. And
Got a handsome set of hands too.
That dude loves to scrap.
Andrew Shaw.
Oh,
That dude's
Shaw,
that dude's 5'0". He'll fight anybody. I love that guy,
He tried
man.
to
He's
fight-
still one of my favorite players in the league.
Remember in the 2000, what year was it we played Boston? Was it 13
Yeah.
in the finals and
Uh-huh.
Stanley Cup? Oh man, remember when he tried
2
to
goals,
fight,
17 seconds.
Remember when he tried to fight Lucic?
Yeah.
The dude's 7 foot. Andrew Shaw's 5'10".
All right. Another miscellaneous question for me. What is your favorite sport and why? I fell in love with football at a very, very young age. It has done nothing but destroy my mind and destroy my body.
Literally.
And I still go back to it as often as I can. I love the sport of football. I can't even tell you why. I get a certain rush talking about it, playing it, looking at it, watching it. Just the whole sport in general. It gives me chills just to think about when I played and when I could play. Nothing does it for me like that does.
Yeah, I'd have to second that. Football is what I grew up with. Before I became a basketball guru, man, like I said, or like you said, I mean, one day I just turned it on. I was watching the Bears game, and I was like, wow, I want to do that. So, in elementary school, finally got signed up in 4th grade, went to go play some Pee Wee football, and then obviously the rest is history. But one thing that was interesting is I started off playing defense, and then by the time I got to 8th grade, my coach was like, well, you're pretty big. We'll put you on the offensive line. And then I figured out what it was like to actually protect somebody. And I don't know what it is about.
It's the ultimate team game.
Yeah.
You can't just have one good guy. We see that with the Giants. They have Saquon. He's insane. And they are 1-8.
Yeah, shout out to my buddy Jeff Trask if you're listening. Nothing was more awesome than protecting you in that pocket. I don't know what it was. It just gave me a rush knowing that I was responsible, and as well as the rest of the offensive line, for keeping you guys up, keeping you guys safe, and getting you guys in the end zone. And football was special. But then basketball, I don't know what it was in high school, but someone showed me the sport of basketball, and I tell you what, there's nothing more exhilarating than to watch somebody jump 5 feet in the air and then throw it down on a guy that's 7 feet tall. It's just fantastic.
Yeah, I'm the complete opposite of all of you. I like the slowest and arguably, everybody says this but me, the most boring game in the history of athletics, and that is baseball. Mike Tyson and you guys played Pee Wee football when you were younger. I played Pee Wee baseball. I love pitching. I love just being able to strike guys out whenever on command. Excuse me.
You like the domination.
I did, because I closed a lot, because I was one of the guys when we were our age. I had a great mentor when I was growing up. Phenomenal coach. Just taught me how to throw hard, and taught me how to use my size and my ability and my arm to just throw the ball as hard as I could, but accurately. And like you said, going off of football, you got 11 guys on the field at a time. You all work as a cohesive unit. Baseball, you got 2 guys involved in every play. It's a very mind-driven game, just like football. It's like a chess match, but at the same time, you have to bring it yourself, too. You have to be able to make your own plays, essentially. So that's what I like about baseball. You have to play yourself just as much as the other guys have to play each other.
I like that we all kind of went in different directions there. That was nice to hear about a bunch of different sporting backgrounds. MLB, besides 2016, what is your favorite year of baseball? For obvious reasons, you guys cannot pick 2016. I think
2016.
Yeah, just real quick. I think for me, it's got to be 2015, when the Toronto Blue Jays made it to the championship series and then lost, beating the Texas Rangers down 2-0. Coming back and winning 3 straight to get there was one of the most exhilarating things as a Blue Jays fan that I've gotten to experience personally. And now that we're going into rebuilding mode, but we got Guerrero Jr. coming up, it's going to be a few years before we get back to being competitive. But just 2014 for me was awesome. I loved watching that.
Can I go 2016 and explain my reason?
Or excuse me, 2015. But yes, go ahead.
Okay, so I know the reason why 2016, obviously world champions. 2016 was a year of history for the World Series. You had 2 teams that ain't won a World Series title in 108 years and then 75 years. That's why 2016 was the best year of baseball for me.
Okay, that's fair.
But if you had to pick a different one, that's what I want to know.
If I had to pick a different one, it'd be 2015 for the sheer fact that Kansas City Royals did it. Watching that team that year in 2015 was unreal. Watching the Kansas City Royals play baseball that season. And then not only that, Ben Zobrist, too. Won one in Kansas City in 15, came over to Chicago in 16 and won one.
I'm going to say the following year, 2017, watching the Astros do it.
That was also
Who had never won one, and they pulled together that lineup that no one saw coming out of nowhere. They put together a bunch of these underdogs, a lot like the A's of the 80s and 90s with some money ball.
Yep.
And they made it work, and it was really fun to watch the Astros last year.
I like this question. NFL, best bear of all time.
Oh.
I've already got mine. I've actually got 5, but I'll take one.
I'm going to pick this one for the sheer fact that I have not been an NFL or football fan my entire life, and I've only just watched highlights. But the best bear of all time would have to be, oh man, this is hard.
There's definitely a couple.
There's so many. I got to go recently. A lot of guys, and Jake included, is probably going to kill me for this. I got to say Urlacher, basically because that was about the time I really started watching football.
That's what I'd say. It's a very arguable point, and I love defensive players.
Brian Urlacher, to me, watching him hit people was unreal. But at the same time, anybody on that 85 team was unreal as well on that defense. But I got to go Urlacher.
Since you took Urlacher, I'm going to go my other favorite position at running back, Walter Payton. There's an award named after him for a reason. He was an absolute stud on and off the field. Just an amazing guy in general, but his on-the-field play was incredible to watch. So I'm going to go with Walter Payton.
Yeah, Sweetness was my first choice.
Sweetness!
And also, shout out to another linebacker, Dick Butkus and Mike Singletary.
Yeah.
Those guys deserve some shout outs.
Too.
But I'm going to go before both of you guys. I'm going to say Gale Sayers. I think that he started it all. I think he's original Papa Bear other than George Halas. What he was able to do, and man, if he didn't get those terrible knee injuries, what he could have been in the 60s, that was just nothing short of incredible. Shout out to my buddy Clyde. I know he loves Gale Sayers. If you're listening, that's for you. There's just, like Cale said, there's so many to pick from, but I think Gale, because you guys took my other two picks, so I'm going to go with Sayers.
Did you know Gale Sayers, after he was done in Chicago, he went down to Southern Illinois and became the Carbondale and became the athletic director?
I did not know
Gale
that.
Sayers was at AD while Dad was down there in Southern Illinois. That's kind of cool. Carbondale.
That's pretty
Really
awesome.
cool.
Yeah.
Back to the MLB. Who is your favorite
Faves.
favorite Cubs player to watch at the plate? Right now,
Is this right now or is this all time?
No, right now.
Right now.
Right now, it's Javi Baez.
Oh man.
Javi Baez is one of my favorite players to watch on the Cubs in general. And it's either really good or really bad. You never know what's going to happen, and I think that's very exciting.
That's a solid answer for that. I was hoping
Very exciting.
I was hoping you were going to say that. You never know what you're going to get.
Yep. It's like a box of chocolates.
You better not steal mine.
All right, well, I mean, you already know who I'm going to say. That's Kyle Schwarber.
Okay,
I love to see that guy step up. Every time I can get a Schwarber bomb,
Tell me how big his bat is again.
it's very big, and
Yeah.
I love to see a Schwarber bomb anytime that I can, and watch him his 300-pound self just trot around the bases. It just
300 pounds, man.
makes
He
me
cut a
feel
whole bunch of weight. He wasn't even 300 when he was Fat Schwarber.
it's a joke, man. He's a big jolly guy, and I love that about him.
I'm going to go Anthony Rizzo. I love watching what he does at the plate. You know, he gets up there, he is
You like that
fraction
stance?
of a centimeter
You like that
off of the
stance?
plate.
Just tempting them.
And then all of a sudden, when he's
wild,
down with 2 strikes, what's he do? He chokes way up on that bat and pokes at Oppo. Only one of the few lefties that can do that. Anthony Rizzo, all-time best batter. Not right now, currently. God, I shouldn't have said that.
Well, we got it on record now.
Yeah,
all time right now.
All time right now.
Yeah.
Another MLB question says, if you had to create an expansion team in the MLB, where would it be located?
You want me to answer this first, or you going first?
I think I'm going to go first.
All right.
I think a team.
Champaign, Illinois.
Well, obviously,
Where do
no.
you
I
think it's
think Montreal. I think Montreal needs a team back. I really like those Expo
You want
uniforms.
to move the Nats back?
No, they can stay there. They can stay there. I would just like to see Montreal get a separate team.
I'm glad you said that.
Go ahead.
Montreal, because you got to add 2, right?
Yeah, well, you have to. I'm saying if you had to pick one,
You don't have to add 2.
So you add Montreal.
NHL didn't
And
add
where
2.
else? You add one in Indianapolis, Indiana. I cannot believe they do not have a Major League Baseball team.
I'm glad you
I'm
said
very
that too, because that was my
surprised
second choice.
Indianapolis, Indiana needs a baseball team.
Yes, they do.
Las Vegas, baby.
That's another good city.
Yep.
I mean, what? Why did they not have more things in Las Vegas? Why did they just finally get a hockey team? I don't know why there's not a football team.
Why are
Well,
they
there
just
is one
getting a
coming,
football
but-
team? Yeah.
Right, but I'm surprised that city hasn't had more stuff. I'm very shocked, but it's an easy place to put stuff down and just it's automatically popular. So
Moving over to the NBA, favorite dunker of all time, hands down, Dr. J.
oh,
I love that
that's
throwback
a good
pick.
answer.
That is.
That's a good answer.
For me, this is a little biased, but there's a lot of people that are on this bandwagon. It's Vince Carter.
I was gonna say you took both of my answers, man. Nate Robinson, game over.
Yes, little Nate the Great.
Yep.
I mean, I love seeing that. You know, he's a 3-time slam dunk champion.
Yup.
3-time. The most to ever win it is one of the second shortest guy to ever win it.
5'8".
It's fantastic.
I could also throw Russell Westbrook in there, too. He's fun to watch when he gets open court.
Well, I would also throw in Sean Kemp if we're going old
Yep.
school. I love to watch
yeah.
the Rain Man throw down. I think.
Levine?
Well, Levine, of course. I
I
think.
mean, you got to throw the mailman in there too.
Yeah,
right?
Karl
Malone.
Malone. I think LeBron. We have to put LeBron in
Yeah,
there.
dude.
Although he's never done a dunk contest because he's a
Yeah, well, we'll
Pass.
bleep that out.
Pippen's a good one.
I don't know if Scotty ever threw it down that hard, though. I mean, Michael. I think Michael was a pretty good dunker for being 6'6".
All right,
We're
moving
missing
back
so
to the
many.
Yeah.
NHL here. Which city deserves the last NHL franchise? Because there are currently 31 teams. We need to round it out at 32. So it's got to be an Eastern Conference team. So what city in the East, or what team do I want to move from West to East?
Right.
I really don't. Indianapolis, again. Easy team to throw into the East. And I don't know why Indianapolis, again, doesn't have more sports franchises.
That city is growing as we speak. It's one of the best cities to live in the country.
It just creeped over 1 million population just a couple years ago.
They need all the sports teams they can get, so they still need an NHL team and they need an MLB team. So I agree with you 100%.
I think for me, I would have to say Seattle.
They're
Seattle
getting
needs a... Are they?
They are
An
getting
NHL
one.
team?
Yeah, they're getting. That's the 32nd. I didn't know if you knew that.
Oh, that's why I didn't know that. That's why I thought that we'd
I
put it
didn't know
down
if we
there.
were going to throw them out or not because there's
Neato.
Oh, no.
Seattle
Oh, that's fantastic.
Seattle, they're revamping where the Supersonics play. They're
Oh,
gonna turn
thank
it into a
God.
nice arena.
You know, speaking of which, real quick, bring back the damn Supersonics NBA.
Well, now they don't got an arena no more because Seattle.
I know, that's what I'm saying. They were going to build
supposed
one.
to be losing their football team, too. There's talks about the Seahawks moving.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. I don't understand why the city can't get their things together. They need to bring them back.
Too many fairies out there.
Yeah, and the fans love the Supersonics. I mean, OKC's cool. I like the Thunder, but man, just bring back the Supersonics. All
You
right,
could
let's see
also
here.
throw another team, baseball or hockey, into Oklahoma City, too.
Absolutely, because that's all they have now is basketball. They could
Right.
put something else.
That's
out
a
there.
large fan base. You've got that entire area where they've got literally nothing in their entire lives except for Oklahoma City
Well, I
basketball.
think
So-
Portland is in a similar situation, and they've been in it for longer. The Portland Trailblazers have been around since the 70s. So if you were going to put another baseball team or even hockey team, put them there. All right, we got the NFL. Who's the best cowboy of all time? This is a Tyson question.
That's a good question.
But I think for me, and believe me, I know there's so many. No one's going to like me for this answer, or maybe you will, but I'm going to say Tom Landry is the best cowboy of all time if we're going to go that way. Man, he was the coach for 26 years, I think. He's been to 10 Super Bowls, and he won
That's a
5.
lot.
He won 5 of them. So let's keep that in mind. Or I'm sorry, he won three of them.
Right.
Yes, excuse me. But yeah, that's just incredible. That's so many times to make it there. And as we know with LeBron's case in the NBA, making it to the finals means a lot than not making it at all, even if you lose.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Tom Landry's up there for me. But if not, if I had to pick a player, and this is not the greatest cowboy, this is my favorite cowboy, it's got to be Tony Romo.
Okay.
I don't know who the best is all time because, like I said, I don't watch football that often. I never really have. So I'm going to pick one that's fairly recent, and I'm going to have to say Ezekiel Elliott, just for the sheer fact that you're going to have somebody that I know that played for him. I just can't think of any off the top of my head, but I like watching Zeke play.
Can I give a shout out to Jason Witten as well? I love that guy.
Oh,
Damn it!
yeah,
Why didn't I
absolutely.
say
Jason
that
Witten
one?
was an absolute stud. He definitely in the conversation. But I'm going to go with Zeke's big brother, Emmitt Smith. Not only was he the best cowboy, but he's the best running back, period, of all time. Not debatable. So I'm going to say Emmitt Smith. Just look up the stat books, and he's in all of them.
Can I get his offensive line for 15 years or no?
I did have Larry Allen, who was 315 pounds and could bench 315 pounds a lot of times.
You can keep Leon Lent, but I'll take the rest of the offensive line.
So this question here is only fitting if he asks it.
Sure.
Okay, I'll ask it.
It's only fitting if you ask it.
It's an NFL question. Which division is the toughest division to play in?
That's a good one to end it on.
It's a very arguable question.
Our football guy.
Yeah.
I'm very biased to say the NFC East. The NFC East is very, very close every year. Top to bottom, minus the last year when the Giants were really out of it. But I think it's very close every year. It's always a 9-win team because they split their division. Everyone goes 3-3 basically. And I think that says a lot that your division play is so close. The other divisions I would consider, I've got one other in the NFC, is the NFC North. I think it's very close in that division as well with the Bears and the Vikings and the Packers. The Lions are a little trash, but
That's okay. We don't like them.
Right. Yeah, we don't count. But once again, it goes back to division play. They split their games every year. Every team goes 3-3 in the division. If I had to pick AFC conferences, it would be the AFC North and the AFC West. The AFC North with the Ravens and the Steelers. It's hard to consider them the toughest division because that matchup itself, Ravens-Steelers, you never know who's going to come out on top.
And you got great games twice a year.
Right.
Every year.
But it's really just those two. The Bengals have never really won anything, and we know the Browns are the Browns. But
that's looking to change, though.
Right. But the AFC West is the only division I would consider in the AFC, really, because they've got 4 teams that are very close, except for this year with the
Oakland,
Raiders
I don't know what's going on
self-imploding.
with them,
But
yeah.
Oakland, Kansas City, Arizona, and I can't remember the fourth one.
That's the Chargers,
yeah.
Chiefs, Raiders, and Broncos.
Yeah. Chargers, Chiefs, Raiders, and Broncos. Yeah, thank you. It's always very, very close in that division as well.
And I think the past decade, every single team has won that division at least once.
Yes. And not this last year, but the previous 3 before that, they either had 2 or 3 people in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So they're very good teams in that division, but this year that whole division looks iffy except for Kansas City. But
yeah, Kansas City is looking to run away with that. Probably even the Super Bowl, but we'll see. Go ahead.
I'm going on the crutch of I don't watch football that often, so NFC North.
Well, yeah.
That's fair.
I mean, it is either way.
NFC East is my final answer, but I wanted to put it out there. There's a couple that are very tough to win.
Right. For me, obviously, I would say the NFC North, but if I'm going to be unbiased, I would have to say the AFC West for reasons we mentioned earlier. Mm-hmm. I mean, you got 4 teams in there. The Raiders, not so much this season, but in years past. I mean, it's just been a bloodbath, you know. I mean, you never know who's going to come out of it because the Chargers are hit and miss every year. Before the Chiefs had Patrick Mahomes fall in their lap, they were hit and miss every year.
And they had Alex Smith for several years, too. So they either went 12-4 or they went 10-6 and just missed the playoffs. And
then you had the Broncos with an aging Peyton Manning, but
right.
It was still Peyton Manning. So, yeah, that was... And obviously, before the Raiders fell apart, I mean, Derek Carr in that defense with Amari Cooper
they went
and
12-4
Chris
one
Bryant. Yeah, exactly. And
they went 11-5 another year, and then they went 1-8. So,
yeah, I don't know what happened. That team it's just a fire sale. I guess he just wanted to get everybody out and then start his own thing. I mean, I don't know what his regime is right now, but I guess we'll find out next year when he spends these 12 first-round picks he's going to end up picking up.
A couple of years ago, you also could have considered the NFC West, 49ers, Seahawks,
yes.
Cardinals, and Rams, because the Rams were always out of it, but they were always close in the division. It was always very hard to beat the Rams.
The greatest 7-9 team of all time.
Yes, every year. And then we saw that the 49ers were very good for a couple of years there when they still had Alex Smith towards the end of his tenure with them. We saw the Seahawks' reign of terror with that incredible defense and Russell Wilson to back him up on the other side.
Marshawn should have ran it.
Yeah, and we saw the Cardinals with Pat Pete and that amazing defense with Tyrann Mathieu.
And Kurt Warner going to the Super Bowl.
With, running Peter.
Larry Fitzgerald, and I forget who the running back was.
Larry Fitzgerald and dude that tore his stuff last year.
Was it Wells?
They had Wells for a while.
I don't remember who their running back was. That's bad because he was a pretty good player. Wow, I guess we'll come back to that.
Oh, well.
You got something?
But you could have considered that division, but I'm going to say they're out of it this year because the Rams are the only good one.
For sure.
So I got something. This is when you guys are done.
Yeah, no, we're good. Go ahead, man. We're just talking.
Okay, so this has been a longer episode, all right?
Yeah.
You're a longer episode.
Thank you. That being said, me and you, obviously the University of Illinois played the Georgetown Hoyas the other night, and we should have won that game.
Yep.
Although Trent Frazier was out there, it would have been a different story. Anyway, me and you, Gavin, had a conversation the other day about AI and Patrick Ewing, because Patrick Ewing is the head coach of the Georgetown Hoyas.
Mm-hmm.
I want to bring this conversation back up because you said that AI was the best Georgetown player, and I said Patrick Ewing was.
Oh, I didn't say he was the best player. I thought we were talking about one-on-one who would win. That's what my understanding.
One-on-one, I still think Patrick Ewing would take Pat.
See,
I think the answer is AI in both of these situations.
Yeah, that's
okay. That's what I wanted. I want to read some career stuff between these two.
Oh, go ahead.
This is Allen Iverson, NBA Most Valuable Player 01. 11-time NBA All-Star from 2000 to 2010. 2-time NBA All-Star.
That's 11 straight seasons.
2-time NBA All-Star Game MVP. 3-time All-NBA First Team. 3-time All-NBA Second Team. All-NBA Third Team. Rookie of the Year. Rookie Challenge MVP. 4-time Scoring Champion. 3-time Steals Leader. Number 3 retired by 76ers. Consensus First Team All-American in 96. And first All-Big All-Big East in 96.
That's a lot of credentials.
So that's Allen Iverson.
Also, one NBA Finals appearance in 2001 versus arguably one of the best teams of all time in the Los Angeles Lakers.
Now I want to go to another guy by the name of Patrick Ewing. I'm going to read his career highlights and awards. 11-time NBA All-Star, All-NBA First Team, 6-time All-NBA Second Team, 3-time NBA All-Defensive Second Team, NBA Rookie of the Year, number 33 retired by the Knicks. NBA's 50th anniversary all-time team, NCAA champion 84, NCAA Final Four most outstanding player of the year, National College Player of the Year, 3-time consensus first team All-American, 2-time Big East Player of the Year, Mr. Basketball USA.
That's a lot shorter list.
It's a lot shorter list, but what I'm going
guy
off,
that's 7 foot as opposed to 6 foot.
what I'm going off of is this. We're not going by the NBA, we're going by Georgetown credentials, correct?
Oh, okay.
That or are we going all-time NBA?
Best Georgetown player at the time they were at Georgetown was Ewing.
Yes.
Best Georgetown player ever to make something out of himself. I still believe
Allen
is
Iverson.
AI.
Okay, so I'm glad you said that because I'm gonna bounce something else off you guys.
Okay.
Career statistics for AI and Patrick Ewing.
Is this pro?
This is pro.
Okay.
This is career NBA statistics.
Okay.
Yep.
Points, Patrick Ewing, 24,815, which is a 21.0 points per game average. Rebounds, 11,617.
How many seasons did Ewing play?
He played...
Sorry, I know that's a little random, but I know AI only played like 11 seasons or 12 seasons.
With the Sixers, he also played for the Grizzlies and Pistons and Nuggets for a year, I believe, but he was a shell of himself.
Total seasons, he only played like 12, and then he retired.
85 to 02, but you got to think towards the
17 years.
Towards the end of his career.
His last 2 years, he played for the Supersonics and the Orlando Magic, so I wouldn't count that.
I wouldn't count his last 2 years either, so let's just say 15 years. So this is a span of 15 years. So let me restart. 24,815 points, 21 points per game. Rebounds, 11,617, 9.8 rebounds per game. Blocks, 2,894, which averages 2.4 blocks per game. That is the NBA stats. Let me get back to AI. Allen Iverson career, 24,368 points, which averages 26.7 points per game. He scored a lot more than Ewing. I'm not going to argue that. Rebounds and assists. So rebounds you can't really classify, but you can for the sheer fact that he had 3,394, which is 3.7 per game.
For a guy that's 6 feet tall, it's not too bad.
No, and assists also you can account assists to blocks because Patrick Ewing and AI once again two different animals.
Very different.
So AI had 5,624 assists, which averaged out to 6.2 a game. So NBA, I'm going to back down on the NBA stance I had. I'm going to say that AI was better in the NBA, but AI, in my defense, did not make the all-time 50th anniversary team, although the voting for that hasn't came about yet. I understand that for AI's time.
I think AI's problem is he didn't play long enough.
He did not play long enough.
He retired early, and he knows that. If he would have played a 20-year career like Kareem did, or however long he played, the statistics show he would have finished like 8,000 points above Kareem. He was that natural on the basketball floor and that dominant when he was out there. He just didn't play long enough.
Well, and another thing is Allen Iverson came in the league in 1996, which is the greatest draft class of all time. Anyway, I don't think that you can count those 4 years up till 2000 as him being a part of the anniversary team because he didn't have the credentials
That's
yet.
what I'm saying, is that you can't count him for that.
Right.
That's what I said. Is that
okay.
You can't discount him for not doing that because he's
and also the
first
time
4
for
years
that
in the
voting hasn't came around yet either. Because Patrick Ewing was right at the tail end of that.
Right. Now, when they come out in 2020 for the all-decade team, I'm sure that he'll be on that list.
He's going to make that list, so that's another thing you can add on to AI's track record.
Absolutely.
But going back to Patrick, the best Georgetown player of all time?
No, I'm not going to argue that. He stayed longer than Iverson did. He did more than Iverson did.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got all the records in the book. I'm not going to argue that. But if we're talking strictly just as a basketball player,
Oh, God.
I mean, Allen Iverson, we got one coming, Tyson. There it is. All right.
I thought that was going to be worse.
If we're talking strictly basketball talent, Patrick Ewing doesn't touch Allen Iverson, and that's regardless of position.
Can we also say this, too, that when Patrick Ewing and AI played, it was 2 different times? In my opinion,
They played each other.
I think we missed the greatest generation of basketball, period, as the 3 of us in this room, because I'm going to give that to the 60s to 80s.
I'll say 70s to 1999. I'll say that.
I'm going to go ahead and go later than that still. Just for the sheer fact. Look at all them guys that came out back in Larry Bird, Danny Ainge, McHale, Dr. J, Dominique Wilkins, the Malone brothers.
No, I know. I'm saying 1970. That's because Kareem won his first title in 71.
Right.
So I think that I would say 1970 all the way up until 99. I think was probably the best era of basketball in my opinion. I mean,
I'll give you that. I agree with that.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I can't discredit Bill Russell's Celtics, but 8 teams in the league, 10 teams in the league. I mean, if that was today, obviously one team would dominate. But I'm not going to discredit him playing with 6 or 7 Hall of Famers. Now, if we're going to talk post that, if we're talking like new millennium 2000 to now, I still think the early 2000s was a lot better than today. And that's mostly because of the rules that have changed and also the amount of talent that's now in the NBA so that it makes every team competitive. But with the soft cap, it makes it so one team can soak up all the talent. We saw that with the Boston Celtics, the Miami Heat, Golden State, obviously. So, I mean, it's really just many different eras of basketball. And I get where you're coming from, but I don't know. It's like you said.
This is a hard debate.
We weren't around to watch it. It's tough. It's really tough.
See, like we talked to our fathers that were around to watch that generation of NBA players,
and they will take it to the grave that it was the best thing in the world.
And I'm starting to agree with my dad on that. Is that a bad thing?
No, I always have. My dad's preached that. I've always thought that the 80s and 90s was the peak of basketball, but I still like watching the 70s because that's when that to me. A lot of
That's
people.
when the shorts were much shorter.
Right, but another thing that people don't understand is that from 1970 to 1979, 8 different teams won the title.
Yes.
I mean, that's awesome.
I
love to see parity in the NBA. And a lot of these teams that are still around today, the same franchises, they still only have that one title to hold on to. You're talking about Portland. You're talking about the Supersonics and the Thunder. You're talking about the Knicks. They have their 2 championships in the 70s.
Atlanta's got one, right?
They still haven't won one.
In the modern, yeah.
Yeah, not in the modern era, but I mean, I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of these teams, and before Golden State went on their tear, they had one championship in '76 or '78.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's really valuable to these franchises that suck right now, and they have sucked for the past 20 years. I mean, you talk about a team like Washington that won it in 1979, and they haven't done anything since then. They haven't even been back to the conference finals. So they hold on to that. It's like us being Bears fans. We hold on to that 1985 championship like it's everything.
Alive to see it.
Right. So people that are fans of the Wizards, of the Blazers, they hold on to that kind of stuff. And I really can appreciate the 70s for what it is, but man, I think every era is special in its own way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's what we can take away from it.
Patrick Ewing, best Georgetown player of all time.
Allen Iverson, best basketball player compared to Patrick Ewing of all time.
Once again, I think your wording is flawed. I think I'm going to settle this right now. Ewing was the best player at Georgetown, but the best player to ever come out of Georgetown was AI.
I like that. I'll take that.
So we're both winning this argument.
Yes.
I'll take it.
The best player while in his time at Georgetown was definitely Ewing, but the best player to come out of there as a Georgetown player was AI. So...
And I'll tell you what, to end this off, because we are going on an hour and 30 minutes.
Who cares? Let's keep it going.
Let's
run it back.
Let's leave it here. All right. Patrick Ewing did he play 3 or 4 years at Georgetown?
He only played 3 because back then that was before you could, as true freshmen could not play.
Right. Okay. So you have 3 years at Georgetown. Allen Iverson played 1. So let's just keep that in mind. Had AI played another 2 years, he could have been better. We don't know.
I get that.
So that's why I agree with Tyson. He's the best player to attend the university, but obviously Patrick Ewing's resume looks a lot better. I'll leave it at that. Are we in agreement?
I agree with you, Hunter. Now I agree with you. I don't know, man. I agree with
I think the wording was just...
You're what you're coming from. I understand. I get it 100%.
Right.
I'm
And
not
I get you.
disagreeing with you at all. 100. I just feel honestly that Patrick Ewing honestly is a better player than Allen Iverson. But I'm not going to sit,
fair.
and I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to disagree with everything you're saying. I can't do that because you're throwing stats and everything else at me that honestly I cannot disagree with. I can't argue that. And yes, I get it. I understand it. But I just honestly feel that Patrick Ewing is better than AI.
It's hard.
This is like who's.
It's hard to compare a big man and a guard.
That's the thing is that we're comparing two different positions. I'm going by
Who's the greatest, MJ or LeBron?
This is exactly what we're doing right here.
They're both the greatest to do what they do.
Right.
Like you got a 2 guard and you got a 3/4.
I am going to say this though. Back then, Georgetown was way better.
Yes.
Patrick Ewing was a big contributor to that. Allen Iverson did just as much in one season as Patrick Ewing did in 3.
I'll tell you what. I'll give you this. When Patrick Ewing went into the draft, you know how you usually have the draft card of what people are good at, and they'll give you credentials and whatnot. His draft card read, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah. Okay.
So he was that good. I get that. I get that.
Stud.
The only thing with me is
Allen
I can't
Iverson's
say that Patrick Ewing's anywhere close to Allen Iverson because he choked in the playoffs over and over again with those teams he had. And I can't. I mean, he had John Starks. I mean, it was Patrick Ewing, and then you had Charles Oakley. I mean, they had a great Knicks team, and they just choked it away over and over and over again. And I can't tell you.
He got dunked on by him.
Yeah, and I can't tell you. I can't tell you the handful of times the game was left in Patrick Ewing's hands at the end of the game with a chance to win it, and he blew it. That doesn't happen with Iverson. If Iverson had that Knicks team, are you kidding me?
Yeah, for real.
Iverson didn't even need a team. He just needed a ball, and he was
His best player on his team when he got to the finals, which he shouldn't have. Milwaukee should have beat that Sixers team, but that's a story for a different day. When he got to the finals, his best player on that team was a 36-year-old Dikembe Mutombo.
Dikembe's done a lot in the NBA too.
He has, but 36 years old as a shot blocker, already playing 14 seasons in the league. You can't.
And I understand that.
You
He
can't.
got some old knees.
Yes, very old knees. You're gonna tell me the third best player on the team was Eric Snow?
I don't even know who that is. So
What?
Hang on. So
Maybe
that's
Jordan
a yikes on
McKee?
me.
Jordan McKee?
while we're on this, let's see if the three of us can get a unanimous agreement on this.
Okay.
To end the show. This is seriousness, because this might take a minute. The Dream Teams. Which one was better?
1992.
Okay.
No question.
All right. Well, that was a lot quicker than what I thought it was going to be.
No,
92.
that is the greatest accumulation of basketball
Jordan,
talent ever.
Johnson, Bird, Ewing. Let me look that roster
Barkley.
real quick. Barkley was on
Stockton, Malone.
there. Christian Laettner was a college player.
Leitner was on that team.
And he did not have a very good NBA career.
John Starks on that team?
No. I'm trying to think of who else. Pippen obviously was on that
Scotty.
team.
I'm going to give you the full roster.
I think there
in
was
about 2
12,
seconds.
and I can't remember the other 4. I know that's bad. I think Olajuwon was on that team as well. I
Yeah,
can't
that
remember.
sounds right.
Nope.
No.
He wasn't?
Nope.
Oh, why he wasn't on Team USA? Oh, well, yeah, obviously.
Okay, so I'm gonna let you keep going. We've got Laettner. Did somebody say Robinson? You did. Who said Robinson?
Oh, David Robinson. I didn't say that,
Okay,
but
well-
that's another one. Yeah.
Whoops. Okay, so we got Laettner. Now we got Robinson. We said Ewing, Bird, Pippen, Jordan,
Magic.
Stockton, Magic, and did somebody say Barkley?
Yes,
Yeah.
I said Barkley.
Okay, so you need. There's 2 more,
2 more. Wow.
and I will give
Is
you.
Mullins on that team?
I'll give you their position. Power forward and shooting guard.
Malone,
Karl Malone.
the
Yep.
mailman.
Another shooting guard on that team.
Yep.
Wow.
Steve
I
Kerr.
should know this.
Steve.
No. 1992 shooting guard. I feel like I should know this. And when you say the name, it's gonna.
when you hear this
Luke
name.
Walton.
Yeah,
All right, you're
just
done,
go ahead and tell me. Just go ahead and tell me. It's
Clyde.
gonna-
Clyde.
Drexler. I'm sorry, John. I know you're listening. I couldn't remember Clyde the Glide. My bad, buddy.
So you had Christian Laettner as a college kid, David Robinson from the Spurs, Patrick Ewing from the Knicks, Bird from the Celtics, who was old at that time.
Him and Magic both.
Magic.
Yeah.
And then Scottie Pippen from Chicago, Jordan from Chicago, Clyde from Portland, Karl Malone, the mailman from the Jazz, John Stockton, also from the Jazz. Chris Mullin, Golden State. Charles Barkley, Phoenix. And then Magic was retired.
Yeah, but they pulled him out after 91.
He came out of retirement to play on that team.
Yeah. I really surprised I remembered Mullins, but I couldn't remember Drexler.
Clyde Drexler.
I'm really kicking myself in the butt for that one. But yeah, no, that team doesn't even touch.
Nobody remembers, though, that 92 Dream Team, they lost that scrimmage to the college kids with Chris Webber in that closed scrimmage they had going in there. Fun fact about that, they did not play Magic and Jordan, though, that much.
Yeah, no, they didn't at all.
And
you heard the story of what happened the next time they came in.
They did what they needed to do.
Yeah.
But the coach of that team, I can't remember, who's the coach?
Of the Dream Team?
Yeah, who's the coach of the Dream Team? Ugh.
I'm going to kick myself for that one, too. I don't remember.
Coach K.
I'm pretty sure.
He was on the. He was
an assistant.
Was it Phil Jackson? Because I don't think it was, but it could have been.
Coach.
Man, that is a good question. No one ever gives credit to the coach.
I wasn't even thought about yet.
Yeah, true.
Chuck Daly.
None of us were. Chuck Daly.
Chuck Daly. So you got to think. Chuck Daly didn't play Jordan that entire first round of that scrimmage, and he was. I watched that. Did you see that documentary?
Yeah, I have. Of the Dream Team?
Yeah, about how he was trying to tell them guys that they can get beat by anybody at any time.
Mm-hmm.
And look what they did.
Yeah, I just love that they had the two greatest trash talkers of all time on that team. I mean, you put Michael Jordan and Larry Bird on the same team. I mean, that's just asking for the other team to go home crying.
You got to think, Larry Bird's out there, and he was in his late 30s, and he's still drilling.
He didn't give a damn.
No,
he didn't. Bad back and everything.
He didn't care.
Who was it? Did you hear that story? They were playing MJ, and MJ had like a rough first half. He shot the ball like twice, and he went into half for like 2 points. And whoever this guy was, he was talking all kinds of trash on him because he was up like 13-2 on MJ at the half.
It was Gary Payton.
That's right. Gary Payton was shutting him down, and he's like, so I was talking smack, and then we came out of halftime. And what did MJ say to him after that?
Gary Payton came up to him after that. I know exactly what story you're talking about. It was during a free throw.
Yeah.
Because you're right. He went in the halftime. He either had 2 or 4 points or something.
Yeah.
And he said something to Michael along the lines of like, "Yeah, you're nothing. I can guard you." And he's like, he came out of halftime, and he said, "You know nothing, rookie." That's what he called him. The rest of the game was rookie.
And the game ended with MJ with like 48 points.
Yeah, he proceeded to drop like
had 13.
40 points in the second half. Gary Payton didn't score again, and he said, "Don't ever step to me ever again." And that was the end of it. I mean, that was the end of it.
That's when I knew Michael Jordan was the greatest trash talker of all time. I'll never say another word.
I tell you what's hilarious is listen to some of the Larry Bird stories. I tell you, there's never been a trash talker like Larry Bird. And I know MJ's up there with some of the stuff that he did, but I mean, I've heard Larry Bird telling other players during timeouts. He left his own huddle to go to the other one and said, "I'm gonna get the ball. I'm going to the elbow. You're going to double team me, and I'm going to shoot a fader and win this game." And he'd go out and do it.
Not only that, he's going to shoot a fader over the backboard.
Absolutely. It's unbelievable. I know there was one game against the Atlanta Hawks that said, "I'm dropping 55 on you tonight," and he ended up scoring 51. So he came real close. He came real close. Dominique Wilkins, I think, came out and said, Larry Bird, I mean, he says stuff to go home and make you think about your life. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable the kind of stuff this guy would come up with his head. And I think if you watch the documentary on Larry Bird, Kevin McHale has a lot of stories of Larry in the locker room, and it's awesome.
Not only is Larry Bird one of the best scorers in general, look at his passing highlights. That dude could dish the rock like there was no tomorrow.
I tell you what, we're just gonna go ahead and cut it off there because we're over an hour and a half. So if you're still listening, which I hope you are,
this got wild at the end.
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed today's episode, as I think we all do. I hope you learned a little bit about us and how we view these different sports around these great United States of America.
Curling.
And curling. Shout out to the Canadians, Tanner, if you're listening. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up there. If you enjoyed what you heard, make sure to leave us a like, rating, comment in the box below. Also, make sure to hit the big red subscribe button down there and hit the bell icon next to it so you guys never miss a beat. Also, don't forget to follow us on our social media handle at sports_twin. I don't know why I always have a hard time remembering that.
Every episode.
Anyway, sports_twin. Follow our Twitter. With that said, my name's Gavin Campbell. That was Tyson Snyder, Cale Fleming. We will see you guys next time.
wrap it up. Peace.
Based upon the view, you can't have too much trouble, so why can't we do it? Everybody's doing it. Let's strike the fireworks, stand back and enjoy it. Oh, oh.